This is Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are in San Diego County today, and we are joined by Dr. Mike McQuary. Dr. Mike, he is the school board president with San Diego Unified, and you enter public service, at least elected public service, in the midst of an education revolution. We are seeing the introduction of the local control funding formula, which changes the way we fund schools in California, devolving power down, but then we have Common Core, which sets guidelines nationally. Then we see No Child Left Behind being pushed aside in favor of Every Student Succeeds. Aren't you glad you signed up to be the school board president?
It's a terrific time to be on the school board. It's a terrific time to be a student, and parents should feel confident that their students are going to get the best education possible in this particular time. I did enter at the downturn.
Right.
Things got really tough in 2007, 2008, 2009. My partners on the board had to deal with that. We had to deal with those tough issues about how do we maintain a quality educational program at the same time make massive cuts.
Right.
San Diego Unified chose not to release people. So
no layoffs.
We did everything we could.
Attrition.
To keep as many people as possible on board, because we believe that the important element in education that makes a difference is the quality of the teachers and the people who work the system. We're in a people business, and education is a hands-on people.
And it's interesting you mention that, because when we think about our teachers, we all love our kids' teachers, but the teachers, we have these mixed feelings about. It's kind of like we love our own congressman, but all the other congressmen we don't like. And so there is a push-pull right now about how teachers should be evaluated, how they should receive tenure. I don't want to get too much into the weeds on those issues, but do talk to me about that. You've been a teacher, but now you're on the school board.
Right. Yeah, I've been a teacher, principal, a district manager of programs, a county office supervisor of instruction. I did some consulting for the State Department to validate distinguished and effective schools, so I know what a good school looks like. I know what quality looks like. Was invited by the younger sister of the Dalai Lama to come to India to work with the Tibetan Children Village to help them improve their math and science program. Immediately after that, I came here to San Diego to see what I could do. And part of that, and that experience allows me, gives me the knowledge of what it looks like and what do we need to do to make a difference.
But this begs the question, because what we're trying to figure out is, what does a good school look like? We used to look at what was known as the API. That gave us a number, so I guess you wanted to get over 800 or whatever it was. The API is behind us. Now the board is looking, at least the state board is looking at some color-coded system, 17 different categories. We're not real sure how those colors are going to come out, if at all. And so if I'm a parent in San Diego Unified or anywhere in California, how do I know what a good school looks like?
Yeah. It's a question we've always been working with. It was with the A Nation at Risk, a study that happened in 1983, where we took a look at schools and what they could do. And what came out of that report was that schools don't make a significant difference. It's where you grow up and where you live that is the big indicator. That your zip code determines what kind of a score you're going to get.
I am so glad you brought that up, because I want to talk about that, this achievement gap that we see.
And we know we can make a difference, and we proved that here in San Diego Unified.
And what I think is so interesting is you mentioned zip code as opposed to ethnicity, because while we know ethnicity can play a role, we also know that zip code plays the bigger role. And let's look at the standardized test scores most recently, the SBAC, the new test that we're looking at. Those students that are economically disadvantaged, regardless of race or ethnicity, they met or exceeded standards at 35%, whereas just overall in the state it was 49%. That's on English. And in math, we see that economically disadvantaged met or exceeded standards at 23%, whereas overall 37%. All low scores, but clearly economic disadvantage presents tremendous challenges in terms of achievement.
Well, and the reason for that, and there are numbers of them. One, if you don't have enough money to eat, to buy food, and you come to school hungry, that doesn't work. If you don't have the resources or the ability to take care of your health, that makes a difference. We have 6,000 homeless kids. They don't have a place to sleep or sleep on a regular basis. That has a big impact. And we're asking our schools to recognize that, know who those children are, and let's identify what their needs are, and let's fix that. Let's not make that an excuse. We can create a program that addresses the needs of all of these children, low income or otherwise, and make sure that they can, we can deliver on our promise that they'll be ready for college, ready for a career, and ready for civic engagement.
And we think about the fact we're in San Diego. Anywhere in California, you're going to have a good number of English language learners. And we look at scores for English language learners, and they're also woefully inadequate. We see that in English, meaning broadly speaking, not spoken language, whereas those that are fluent in English are meeting and exceeding standards at 56%, English language learners at 13%, in math, 42% if you're fluent, 12% if you're a learner. I mean,
so those are tough numbers, and they're numbers that need to be looked at, numbers that we don't need to be afraid of, but they do identify the issue. And the issue is, who are these children? What do they bring with them? And what can we do to help?
And what's most daunting to me about those numbers is I could understand that when a student who's an English language learner is being tested on reading skills, English skills, that can be tricky. But math is transferable. I mean, arguably it shouldn't matter what language you're in, because a number is a number, but yet we're still seeing huge gaps.
All right, let's take a look at a couple of things you said and a few things that pass fairly quickly. We have 60% of our students on free and reduced lunches. We have almost 35,000 of our students are Spanish speakers. We have, when they arrive, so first of all, students who are low income, we want to make sure that we have the health needs. So we just met with the Chargers yesterday. We just met with the Chargers earlier, and they're providing $20,000 for food for our kids. We do a project with our city in order to do feeder children after school, before school, and on weekends and during the summer. So we want to take care of those health needs as well. We partnered with our county office, with our health services, so that we can identify the health needs of students. If we can neutralize those variables, then our students have an opportunity. We also want to then be able to take a look at the language that they bring with them. And we have interesting numbers. 90% of our students of many nationalities are born in the United States. 10% of our students are born elsewhere, and they're students right now.
But here's my question, if I may.
And the languages they bring with them are, you'd think, are Spanish primarily.
Right.
But in addition to those, we have a high number coming from our Asian, South Asian, and Pacific Island countries.
But in Europe, bilingualism is the norm. Bilingualism, to me, sir, is a gift. And yet somehow in Europe they can navigate bi and trilingualism, and we're not navigating it.
We're working on that. It wasn't too long ago that we weren't able to instruct any other language except English.
Right. That's changing.
So in San Diego, we have multiple schools and classes where we're doing bilingual.
Right, the dual immersion
Dual
programs.
immersion. We're doing. We got Chinese. We got Spanish. We've got a number of languages. We just started Portuguese in our Point Loma community.
Wow.
And they are so happy about that. We have Vietnamese in our City Heights area.
Please come back. There's so much to discuss. I really enjoyed speaking with you. His name is Dr. Mike McQuary. He's the president of San Diego Unified School District. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're in San Diego County today on Local Edition.